Namaste students. Now we are in the 7th chapter. It is welcome to business studies class. We are on the 7th chapter, that is directing. And in case of directing, we have seen in the previous class we have seen what you mean by directing, and also we have seen what are the features. It flows from top to bottom and it initiates action. It is present at every level of the organization, and also it is a continuous process. So these are the features of directing, and we have also seen what are the importance of directing. Why why direction is important in the organization. It is important in order to motivate the employees or to achievement of organizational goals, and to bring employees the morale among the employees, and to solve conflict between the employees or among the employees, or it may be management and employees. So for so many reasons, directing is important in the organization. Now when we say directing, the process of directing, the actual action it begins, or we start working in the stage of directing. Before the stage, it may be the planning and organizing or staffing. All these stages we are just arranging. We are just arranging the things. We are just arranging the things to execute some of the plan. We are arranging the things that to execute some of the plans or to work. So in this stage we actually get into the work. So that is directing. Now in today's session we'll discuss about the principles of directing, and also we'll discuss that elements of directing. What are the elements of directing? That we'll see further. Now we'll see principles of directing. What is that principles? We have seen the principles of management, we have seen the same way principles of directing. So what is that principles? Why we need to call principles? Principles are the things which helps us like a guiding process. It's like a guide. When we do particular action, or when we execute some of the function, here it may be directing may be one of the function, but while performing that function we need to take some of the rules, or we need to follow some of the guidance or the principles, that we call it as principles. It acts as a guiding process when we execute some of the function. Here the process or the function is directing. While directing, what and all necessary things I need to include. If I include these, my direction process will be more effective, rather than if I direct other than without including these principles. So if I study or if I go through the principles of directing, then these principles it will help me to direct more effectively in the organization. So that purpose we should be knowing the principles of directing. So these are the principles of directing. These principles will guide us, or it will show one particular path how you need to perform this particular function or this particular process. So here, what are those principles which will guide us in case of directing, which will guide in order to direct more effectively or efficiently? We'll go through one by one. Their first one comes maximum individual contribution. Now, before directing any of the group or any of the team, we need to understand, now I am going to direct this particular group, but what is my duty? I have to bring as much as possible the maximum effort from each individual. There will be many employees in the organization, and I have many people, those who work below, or those who work, I am the leader of this particular group. So what is my duty? I have to bring their best, or I have to get maximum. I have to bring their maximum. Out of each one, I have to bring their maximum. So that is the process or the duty of the function called directing. What it should do? Maximum individual contribution. It has to direct if it employs in such a way. The director may be your manager may direct. Sometimes in the factory level your supervisor may direct. So when the person who directs, he should direct in such a way that employee, by hearing your direction, the process, or by hearing your direction, they should put their maximum effort, and it is your duty. person who is directing, it is his duty, he has to get maximum from each and every individual. What happens if we get maximum from each and every individual? When we get maximum from each and every individual, getting maximum from each and every individual means we have to make our employees work more efficiently. We have to make our employees work more efficiently. We have to direct in such a way that they should be motivated by our direction. So they have to work more efficiently. When they work more efficiently, when word efficient comes means it is their best. They are trying to give their best. So it is our responsibility, the person who is directing, he has to concentrate towards the getting more from each and every individual. So getting as much as possible from each and every individual means he has to understand what is the each individual's potentiality. Firstly, he need to understand, oh, this person can work to this extent, so I have to try with this particular individual to get his potential out. Each and every individual's potentiality or capacity we need to understand, then according to their capacity we need to direct them, so we can get the best from each and everyone. The same thing, for example, when we in a class our teacher will be knowing what is each individual's capacity. Now we need to try them, we have to motivate them in such a way that they have to get more marks, or they have to they have to get motivated, and they have to put their hard work, and they have to try to get more marks. So in the same way, same things we can apply in the organization. So that is the first one, maximum individual contribution. Then harmony of objectives. What is that objectives? In an organization, there, if we see, there might be the organization objective. There might be organization objective, and one is individual objective. The person who is employed over there, his objective, individual objective. Now, organization objective may be, the organization may be expecting to increase the productivity. Employees has to work more efficiently, and the productivity should increase. What happens if productivity increases? Then obviously the profit of that particular organization will increase, and the employees may be expecting a good salary, or more salary or incentives. More salary or incentives. Incentives are those which we get in addition to salary. Other than salary, what benefit we get, that is incentives. So, see, harmony in objectives means, now as I said, the employees may be thinking that I need to get more salary or more incentives. But organization may be thinking, my employees should work more efficiently, so that this organization productivity should increase, and in the same way profit also should increase. So there will be always, it is what, no, there will be conflict between the individual interest and organization interest. Means the individual person or the employee will not understand that I have to work more efficiently, then I should increase the productivity of this organization, and I should contribute to increase the profit of the organization. That perspectives employees will not think. Or the same way organization will not think most of the time. I should increase their salary they are expecting. I should give their different kinds of incentives that they are expecting. No, but it is the duty of the person who is who is directing them. He should convince the employees in such a way that employees should be able to understand that if we work more efficiently, and if we try to contribute to the, if we try to contribute to increase the profit or productivity of the organization, obviously in other way our salary and our incentives will get incentives, and our salary will be more. So these are not conflicting or contradictory to each other, these are complementary to each other. If I work more efficiently, if I contribute to the achievement of organizational goals, my payment will be, obviously it will increase. So these are complementary to each other. So it is the duty of the person one who direct. He should bring harmony between. He should bring harmony between the individual objectives. That means the employees' objectives and organizational objectives. Employees should understand these are complementary to each other. If I work efficiently, automatically my salary will increase. These are not different. This is my objective, this is organization objective. No, it's not like that. It is one and the same. I have to work efficiently and I have to contribute, then obviously it will increase. So that convincing process or that convincing thing has to be done by the person who is going to direct. So that is the second principle that he has to keep it in mind. That is, it is his duty to bring harmony between these two objectives. Then unity of command. Unity of command, you always know that there shouldn't be confusion among the employees, those are working, that they should receive orders from only one person. They should not receive orders from two or more persons or many persons. If they receive orders from more than one person, then it will be confusing. It will be confusing and it is not clear to the employees that what they have to carry and at the end whom they have to submit. So there should be, it is very clear from whom they should receive orders and at the end for whom they are responsible for their end result, for whom they have to show. So that is about third one, unity of command. Then appropriateness of direction technique. See, direction technique. What is that direction technique? Direction technique is nothing but we need to use a proper direction technique to the individuals or the employees. Now, in an organization means there different kinds of employees will be there. See, some employees may be expecting we should get some of the monetary incentive, some monetary benefit or incentive. Some other may expecting non-monetary benefits. Now there will be different kinds of employees in the organization. Now some employees may be expecting we need to get bonus. We need to get bonus in this year, or we need to there should be an increase in payment, or there should be an increase in salary at the end of this year. That might be some employees' mind. They may be thinking of that, and some other may be thinking if it is better if I get medical facilities to my children or my family, the medical benefit or medical insurance if I get, or if I have got a quarters facility, it would be better because he might be living in any other rent. He may be paying rent for the house which he is staying now. So he may be expecting if I get quarters benefit, it would be better. So there will be different kinds of expectation from the employees. Some may be expecting monetary benefit which we pay in the form of money. Some may be expecting other non-monetary, other than money, what benefit they can get. So now if the person, one who directs, he should understand the each individual's expectation, what this person is expecting and what other person is expecting. Now if we understand what these people are expecting, according to that he can use this as his technique of directing. He may tell to the person who is expecting a monetary benefit, he may tell you have to work efficiently. If you work efficiently in this year, there may be the possibility of getting higher salary. There may be the possibility of getting, they may increase your salary. Or bonus also you may get, those who bring more productivity to the organization. In that way, if we speak to that person, one who is expecting monetary benefit, he will get motivated. Obviously, he will try to give his best. The other person, one who is expecting non-monetary benefit, if we direct him in this way that in this year if productivity increases, this management is thinking of giving this kind of benefit, the insurance, the family insurance, the medical insurance benefit they may provide, or other the quarters facility or other non-monetary benefit they are planning to provide. If we motivate or if we direct him in in that way, he will get motivated. But he should be use their appropriate motivational technique. For the person who is expecting this, he should use this as his motivational or directing technique. The person who is expecting that he has to use as his motivational technique. So he has to use their appropriate direction technique. What they are expecting, what is their expectation from the organization, that he has to use it like a direction technique. According to each individual, what is his expectation, that he has to make utilization of that. So that is about appropriateness of direction technique. Then the fifth one, use of informal organization. As I said, what is that informal organization? The formal organization is where the proper communication will be there, rules and regulations will be there, authority and responsibility will be there. Like the manager, then comes the CEO or the manager or different departmental heads, then employees. That is informal organization. Informal means in that formal only there may be a group of 4 members. They are friends. In that organization only the different department of 4 members are friends. So it is an informal organization. Now organization always it should allow to form this kind of informal organization. What will be the use of informal organization means, in this case now if he is directing or any other project he is giving, he can give it to these informal groups. What happens when they are in a group which is very comfortable to them, it is more, they will get more motivated and they will be very happy to work in such kind of place. So they can get better result. So while directing, he should make use of that informal groups. If we know that there is an informal group, he should make use of those informal groups. He has to give some task to them where he can get better result, rather than if they go back to their department and if they work, if they in that informal groups, they may work more efficiently. That is also one of the technique of that person, one who directs, he has to make use of that informal groups. Then leadership. Leadership means while directing, man should always he should have the quality, he should use the qualities of leadership. Leadership is the leadership quality is such quality that which will influence any person's positively. We need to influence any person's positively. That is the quality of a leader. So when any person one who directs, he should apply the qualities of a leader, then he has to direct. So it is possible for him to motivate in a positive way. So he should apply the qualities of leadership, that he has to keep it in a mind, that I should speak like a leader, or I should behave like a leader, or I should guide like a leader. So that is the qualities of a leadership. Then follow-up is nothing but you have directed there and you have implemented some of the rules, or some of the points you have implemented, or some of the procedure you have told. Now you have to follow up. You have to see what things I have delegated to them, or what you have motivated, in what way you have motivated to them, whether they received it in that proper way, in which sense you have delegated, the same sense whether they have perceived it or received it. If they received it, then work will go according to your plan. If they do not receive it, then you have to do some of the follow-up action. You have to see where I went wrong, whether I did not motivate them properly, or whether I did not communicate them properly, where I went wrong. So if we find something wrong, or if it is not going in a way how he has planned, the director, how he has planned, in that way if it is not going, he has to take some of the necessary actions in order to improve it. So these are the principles of directing. The first comes maximum individual contribution. He should try to get maximum from each and every harmony of objective. It is the individual objective and the organization objective is complementary to each other. These are not conflicting to each other. Unity of command. They have to receive orders from one boss and they have to submit it to that person from where they have received it. Appropriate direction technique. We need to, according to the expectation of the employees, that expectation we have to use it like a direction technique. Then it will be more effective. Use of informal organization. There will be the presence of informal organization in the particular organization. We have to make use of it. Then it will be it is useful for us to get best from them. We have to, the person one who is directing has to apply the qualities of a leader. Then it can influence a person positively. Follow up means if he is finding that something, if it is not going in the right way, he has to make it in a right way. He has to take some necessary action. Now further we'll see what are the elements of direction. There are some elements of direction. We'll see what are those elements. Now we'll see what are the elements of, what is that elements of directing. Now if we speak about elements, what is that elements? The word elements, what we can see, the directing, it is a process or it is a function. What it includes, it is a combination of what, that different combination we call it as elements. For example, in the previous chapter, staffing, what is the staffing? Staffing is, in a single word, staffing is nothing but we are filling the we are just filling the vacancies in the organization. What vacancies is there? We are just filling, in the sense to look into those sections, the filling the appropriate staff in the organization. But when we take staffing, what includes there? There comes the word recruitment, then there comes selection, then there comes training and development. So these many processes are there. So these are like elements. If we get into that particular process or that particular functions, we can see what are the elements, what are other things are there inside this particular function. So that we call it as elements. But if we see in case of directing, what are the elements of directing? Which are the elements of directing? Now we know that directing means, it is not like, directing means what we need to do. We have to motivate a person, we have to supervise a person, we have to communicate him, and we have to exercise the quality of a leadership. So these all are the elements of directing. So there first comes the elements of directing. In that first comes, it is supervision. The first element is supervision. Then comes there motivation. Then third element is leadership. And the fourth one, the last one, that is communication. So these are the elements of directing. So these four are the elements of directing. The combination of these or process, we can call it as directing process. If a person wants to direct means he has to supervise them, he has to monitor other person. The supervision, the person by supervision, the supervisor person can be a director, one who directs or one who guides. So supervision and also motivation. It is important thing that what we direct, it should influence some person. It has to influence. That influencing the process, we call it as, if it influences that person, then obviously we will get motivated. So motivation, it is also one of the element. Then leadership, as I said, the influencing is correct. Sometimes it may influence in the negative way also, but it has to influence in the positive way. So that positive way is the positive way of influencing any of the person. We call it as a leadership, a leader. The leader only can influence the other person in a positive way. So that is also one of the elements of directing. And communication. Obviously it is very important. If communication process, if it goes wrong, then whole directing process will go wrong there. So communication also very important. In what way we need to communicate? In the way, we need to communicate in a way. In what way we want to communicate with them, what we want to convey to them, the same way they have to accept it. It shouldn't go wrong. Sometimes, the most of the time, what happens, the person who speaks, he speak in one way, in the sense he may speak in the positive way. The person who accepting it, he may accepting it in a negative way. That possibilities will be there. So in that case, communication it play a major role. So these four are the elements of directing. Now we need to study these elements in detail, and according to your exam purpose, these elements are very important. These four elements are very important. Now we need to study these elements in detail. That will, the first element comes there, supervision. So that will we can see in the next section. We can study about supervision. So these four are the elements of directing. So with this we can wind up with today's class, and in tomorrow's class we'll see what is supervision, what are the